Hello all, welcome to today's webinar hosted by Digital Nirvana. Our speakers today will take you through the Trance solution and the many ways it allows in leveraging artificial intelligence and cloud for the generation of captions. As we progress through the webinar, please post your questions in the chat window. We will be taking a peek at all your questions periodically and will answer them at the end of the session. Post this session, a recorded version of this webinar will be shared with all the attendees, and a copy of the same will also be available on the webinars page of Digital Nirvana. I'll now introduce our moderator for today, Russell Wise. Russell is the Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Digital Nirvana, and he has also been on the founding team of Volleycon. Russell is responsible to bring Observer to the marketplace. Over the course of 5 years, around 800 customers chose to use Observer for their broadcast and compliance needs. Russell is also pioneering and building the key solutions at Digital Nirvana and taking them to market. Russell, over to you. Please take us into the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh, and good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are on planet Earth. We thank you for joining this webinar today. I wanted to give you a quick snapshot of Digital Nirvana. Today we're known as a leader in knowledge management, primarily focusing in two areas. You'll see Digital Nirvana products involved in distribution monitoring of content, meaning we record the content and look for quality of content, presence of metadata, and assurance of meeting government and internal standards. The second area of focus has been to apply AI to media workflows. We've deployed a number of systems to industry leaders such as Turner, TMZ, and CBC for this reason. But today we're primarily talking about how do we apply AI to broadcast workflows. AI offers tremendous capability to reduce redundancy, increase efficiency, and quality of the broadcast product. However, to implement AI, it's difficult in some broadcast workflows. Today we'll talk about these capabilities, primarily speech to text, translation, intelligent presets, and conformance as applied to generating translations, transcriptions, and captions. Today you'll see an overview of our product called Trance. Trance is really a platform with 4 primary applications. We can ingest content, we provide automated transcription, caption generation, caption conformance, and also translation. Given that, I'd like to introduce you to my colleague, Ed Haber. Ed is Director of Business Development. He served in a similar position at Volleycon, where he's a founding member of the sales team and led the sales practice. Ed, take it away.
Thank you, Russell, and hello, everyone. My name is Ed Haber, and I'm excited to be with you today to introduce you to Trance from Digital Nirvana. Trance is a cloud-based, enterprise-level SaaS platform accessible via any web-enabled computer to generate automated transcripts, create closed captions, translate text into alternate languages, and export captions in any number of industry-supported formats. Trance is powered by AI and machine learning technologies to deliver greater productivity, shorter turnaround times, and improve both the speed and accuracy of the captioning process. With Trance, productivity gains of 50% and greater are achievable as compared to conventional desktop captioning applications. Seamlessly conforming to style guidelines from third-party providers like Netflix and Quibi is paramount in today's content-driven world. Configurable presets along with integrated quality assurance further improve captioning efficiency and maximize the overall process. During our time together today using Trance, I'm going to show you how to import media, create, view, and edit speech-to-text transcripts, easily create and edit captions, translate text to a secondary language and create a secondary caption. We'll also export captions in a variety of industry-supported formats. Okay, let's get started. As I mentioned earlier, Trance is a web-based HTML platform accessible via your LAN, WAN, or just a basic internet connection. I'll start by logging in at our Trance launch page. I'm logging in as an administrator, however, the process is the same for all users. Okay, so we're now logged into the Trance application, and at the top you'll see 4 main menu options. Those are Manage, Files, Export, and Preferences. Let's have a quick look at the Manage menu. Like any enterprise IT solution, Trance is fully configurable for an unlimited number of users, groups, and roles. The Manage section of the interface is where we set up and manage these and other functions. Trance is also a role-based tool. Roles define what each user can access and what each user is and is not permitted to do within Trance. In this presentation, we're not going to spend a lot of time drilling down deeply into the Manage menu. However, while we're here, let's briefly take a look at presets. In the Manage Presets section of Trance, we have the ability to define caption attributes, such as the number of lines, the line length, total number of characters, text frame gap, etc. As the name implies, a preset simply defines these and other captioning parameters so that all work done within Trance automatically conforms to these attributes. We'll see the power of presets in action throughout this presentation. Okay, now that we've had a quick look at the Manage section of Trance, the most commonly asked question at this stage is, how do you get content into Trance? And this is a great question. At Digital Nirvana, we have an elegant utility we call Media Services Portal to accomplish this task, also referred to as MSP. MSP is a media gateway that integrates directly with FTP, Amazon S3, and Avid Media Central with additional off-the-shelf integration. Digital Nirvana also offers an open API to integrate Media Services Portal directly into large enterprise media systems. Using our API, media files can move seamlessly via watch folder between third-party systems and MSP. To put it another way, using our API, users never need to leave their existing environment or create a secondary workflow process to move media into and out of Trance. This is just one way Trance saves time, elevates efficiency, and helps people get more done. Like before, we have a simple login procedure. Once inside MSP, we simply navigate to the upper right of the interface and select Add Job. We're then prompted to select the desired process from the drop-down menu and simply point to and upload our media. It's that simple. MSP will automatically upload the media into Trance and will also create a job and corresponding job ID. Media Services Portal supports audio and video files for import, as well as a vast array of common file formats. Another frequently asked question is, how long is the import and speech-to-text process? Generally speaking, content 10 minutes or less is about 1.5 times real-time. Assets between 10 and 30 minutes is in the real-time range, and content 30 minutes and longer is faster than real-time. As an example, a 3-minute clip will take approximately 4.5 minutes to process. Okay, now that we've uploaded some media into Trance, let's get to work on the job we just created. And this is where things really begin to get fun. To access the job we just imported, we go to the Files menu and select Transcription Edit. Immediately, the Transcript Edit interface opens up, and with it, a host of powerful viewing and editing capabilities. The power of Digital Nirvana's speech-to-text engine has automatically generated a highly accurate transcript of the media we just imported. This powerful technology eliminates both the time and necessity of manually transcribing content the traditional way. Automated speech-to-text in Trance delivers huge time-saving and productivity advantages over conventional captioning methods. It's also highly accurate, between 90 and 95% accurate for good quality content. We can think of the transcript editor as kind of like a word processor with an integrated media player. It combines the text and media, delivering an interactive text editing and media viewing experience for the user. Let's take a few minutes here to look around the transcript interface. To begin, we have the main text field, which provides a fast and easy way to view the entire transcript of the job in paragraph form. It's also an equally capable text editor to quickly make corrections and updates to the text. To the left is a powerful player window to see and hear the audio and video of the job. In this window are intuitive controls to adjust the volume of the audio, change the playback speed of the video. There's a scrub bar to easily navigate through different sections of the media. We have VTR-style controls for playback and shuttling in the media, and auto scroll and auto seek options, both of which we will enable here. Now, let's play a few sections of the current job so we can see the media player and the text editor working together in action.
When we go back in the session in September,
you'll notice as the media plays, the transcript dynamically updates and scrolls in real time with the video. This powerful auto-scroll feature is made possible through time-referenced indexing of the media with the text. Trance also allows us to interact with the transcript and have the video dynamically update in real time. With the auto-seek option enabled, we can click anywhere in the transcript and the video follows. The transcript interface also provides operators with a number of additional tools for fast and easy text editing. These include auto-highlight of potentially misspelled words with a lower probability of accuracy. These are the words we see on screen currently highlighted in orange. It offers a spell check tool. There's also a find and replace word search tool. There are options for the user to adjust the typeface, the line height, and font size, all according to their preferences. Users also have the ability to highlight words which have been added, edited, and deleted. And in the Preferences menu are both a glossary of keyboard shortcuts for commonly performed tasks, as well as a utility to allow for third-party foot pedal integration. Once we've made our edits and the transcript is exactly as we want, we choose Save and Close in the upper right. Here we have the option to save as either complete or incomplete. Choosing incomplete keeps the job in the transcript domain so other team members can further edit the job, or for a manager to approve the job at a later time, if desired. Choosing complete concludes the transcript phase and sends the job to the caption edit portion of Trance. Okay, now that we've completed the transcript edit portion of this job, it's time to create the captions. To do this, we'll go back to the Files menu, and this time we'll select Caption Edit. As soon as I make this selection, you'll see the Caption Edit interface load. You'll immediately notice a great degree of familiarity between this portion of the Trance interface and the previous transcription section. The look and feel is the same, as are many of the buttons and tools. What we're looking at in the center portion of the interface is the edited transcript of the text we just completed, which has now been parsed, or broken down, and indexed, or time-referenced, to the media according to the existing preset we configured in Trance. You'll recall from earlier that a preset predefines the desired caption attributes to format automatically. Trance has done all this formatting work for us in the background and saved us a tremendous amount of time in the process. Like the transcript interface of Trance, the caption edit section includes the same powerful media player, which again includes the auto scroll and video seek indexing capabilities. It also has equally powerful text editing capabilities. However, unlike the transcript section, here the text has been broken down into segments and parsed based on time references with the media, as well as the captioning presets we set up earlier within Trance. Let's play the job again so we can see how the interface responds.
When we go back in the session in September, we will be passing a bill.
With the auto scroll function enabled, we see the same behavior in which the text keeps pace with the video as it plays. With the Seek Video feature, we have the same ability to click anywhere within the text and the video player jumps to that point in time. Okay, let's make a quick edit to the captions for this job. We'll navigate over to Section 6, where I believe we have one remaining misspelled word. I'm going to correct that word, about, and add the letter A right here. We can make caption edits via our Trance keyboard shortcuts, standard PC highlight, cut, and paste operations, or we can simply place our cursor where we need and retype. Now that we've made the change, let's take things one step further. I'm going to go back up to Section 4 and change the number 2 to the word 2. And I'm going to do the same thing again later in the same sentence. You'll notice after my last edit, this section is now highlighted with a red border. This is an automated warning indicating we have a formatting violation we must resolve, such as total characters or line length. Now I made this last edit just to show this functionality of Trance. For the sake of time, I'm going to change this back to the original spelling. You'll notice the red highlight is now gone, indicating no more violation. These captions are now good to go. The Caption Edit interface also includes a utility on the right-hand side allowing for customizable placement of captions anywhere within the media. It also includes a spell check feature as well as other capabilities we already covered earlier in this presentation. Another commonly asked question is, this all looks great, but can I create captions in more than one language? With Trance, the answer is yes. So let's assume I've completed all my caption edits for this job in the primary language of English. Now I want to create matching captions for this job in the secondary language of Spanish. To do this, I simply select Add Language and choose the desired language, in this case, Spanish. As we can see, Trance currently supports a total of 25 different languages. Within a matter of seconds, Trance completed a translation of the English captions to Spanish. Trance also populated the captions in a secondary edit window and indexed the captions to the media. Just like we did moments ago, we can edit the Spanish captions the same way we did the English. And just like English, we also have a spell check tool for Spanish with auto-highlighting of any words Trance perceives may be misspelled. If you should want to return to seeing just the English version of the captions, we just click the right arrow button in the English column, and the Spanish captions collapse and are now hidden. But don't worry, Trance autosaves all changes made and will recall the edited version should you reopen it at a later time. Like before in the transcript phase, once all your caption edits are finalized, simply choose either complete or incomplete in the upper right of the interface. I'll go ahead and select complete. At this point, there's just one step remaining, which is generating the caption files. We do this by following these simple steps. We go to the Export menu and select Projects. We select a date from the Calendar tool on or before the date of the project and click Apply. From here, we locate the job ID number in the table and move to the right of the interface and select Open. The job we want to export is now open, and in the upper right of the UI, we select Generate Captions. Within a few seconds, Trance has generated the various sidecar caption files for this particular job. As I mentioned before, the caption files generated are dictated by the preset parameters established ahead of time within Trance. If we want to have a look at the caption files we just created, we have a few options. We can navigate to the left side of the interface where it says Download Captions Here and select Zip. This action will download a zip file. We can then open and examine the various caption files output by Trance. If we want to go one step further and send our completed caption files to an alternate destination other than our local computer, we can return back to the upper right of the Trance interface and select Submit Project. This action will send the completed caption files for our job back to Media Services Portal for us to access, or to an Enterprise Watch Folder destination via our API. And that's it, we're finished. During our brief time together, we successfully imported media, generated a speech-to-text transcript, edited that transcript, created and edited captions in both English and Spanish, and output caption files. We accomplished all of this work in a very small amount of time from a single cloud-based application, accessible to any user anywhere in the world. And we did it all faster, easier, and more effectively than traditional captioning applications. This is Trance, and this is the power of AI technology from Digital Nirvana. I'd like to thank everyone who attended today's presentation. It's been a pleasure introducing you to Trance, and I hope this webinar was both informative and enjoyable for each of you. At this time, I'm going to toss it back to my colleague Russell Wise to take it from here. Russell?
Okay, thank you very much, Ed. Looks like we do have a number of questions that are coming in. Let me first introduce Russell Vijayan. Russell is responsible within Digital Nirvana for internal implementation of AI technologies, as well as defining new products and services for broadcast and media. Morning, Russell, or evening for you. First question, what speech-to-text engine to use today, and what were the key factors for that choice?
Thanks, Russ. This is Russell here, and thank you everyone for joining this webinar. So what engines do we use, and what are the key factors? So at Digital Nirvana, we don't use one single engine to create speech-to-text. So what we do here is basically, we do evaluate a lot of engines that's out there and on various parameters. So if you're looking for key factors, it could be content type, the dialects, even pace of speech, the noise levels. So In the past 15 years of our experience in this space, we have not seen a single engine that is perfect or kind of one size fits all kind of engine that can give better quality on various different outputs. So that's how we designed this engine where when you are sending or when the request reaches us, it is going through this engine that takes the acoustic signal out of the engine and out of the asset, and then do evaluate that and identify which is the accurate engine going that's accurate for this particular audio feed, right? So so essentially, the input is going to be the audio signal and to digital Nirvana's engine, and the output from the engine is going to be, an accurate engine that this audio signal has to pass through. And then once that engine processes this speech to text, and the text returns back into the for the user. So essentially, it is not a single engine that we use. It's a cluster of speech-to-text engines that we use, and that way, it gives us a lot of flexibility to adopt the best engine for the best audio. So depending on the audio signal, and it also helps us adapt to the future technologies that will come out in the market in the future, right?
Okay, very good, Russell. Next question here. You mentioned that you are helpful generating captions for platforms like Quibi and Netflix. Can you elaborate or talk about exactly what you do differently with these applications?
Okay, yeah, I know Ed, during his presentation, he mentioned Netflix and Quibi. So I just wanted to clarify, it's much more than that. It can be used for lot of different platforms. So let me take the example of Netflix first. So we have heard of two different, or the Trance is addressing two different use cases when it comes to Netflix. One, as you can imagine, the where you create captions, new captions for content that's being published on Netflix, which is straightforward, right? You create new captions. And the way Trance addresses that is you can choose the preset. Before you even start uploading the videos, you can choose a preset or select that as a Netflix project. And when you do all your transcription, you get your speech to text, you clear it up for 100% accuracy, and you insert your speaker names, you insert your visual cues. And then when you are switching over to the captioning window, all of these presets will come to play. And then the output that you're going to see in the captioning window is going to be a Netflix parameter based or Netflix style guide based content that comes up on the screen. And then you can do a review and export it as the TTML format that Netflix mandates. That is one use case, which is straightforward. Now, there is another way where networks have content that was already broadcasted on TV, and now they are repurposing those content for Netflix. Now, in that case, today, essentially what happens is it takes equal amount of time as much as you take to create new captions when you are repurposing those captions for Netflix. So Trance there, what it does is now you can import an existing caption file, select a Netflix preset, and then what you're seeing, there is a caption conformance process. So the resultant output is going to automatically convert this to Netflix standards in a lot of places, except for certain places where it requires a human intervention. Say, for example, there is a spelling that is not there in the library, which it could not be a standard line, but it can still show up in the spell check, and then the user can go in. It is all time coded report, so you can just click on that, go to that particular place, clear, review, and then publish it as TTM. And in terms of Quibi, it's the same. So Quibi, you generate new captions and then export it as based on the presets, which will match with the style guide, and then export it as a VTT file with positioning information, or sometimes Quibi requires VTT file without positioning information, and that is also there. So you have the ability to choose between each of the format that is compatible to the platform and export it.
Okay, next question. What type of productivity gains have you traditionally seen with this platform?
Productivity gains. So generally, when we talk about productivity gains, we talk about increase in output or efficiency gains, which we have evaluated against conventional desktop platforms. That comes to 50 to 60%, depending on the users. And there are a lot of other factors that plays here. So that is only accounting for the speech to text efficiency that comes in. Now, with the presets, there is also additional efficiency gains in captioning window, where the user doesn't have to account for time offsets, account for text frame gaps, ensure all of that is accounted for. So that there is time savings for user in that front. In addition, the project management, the efficiencies that Trance brings in terms of project management in large enterprises. And then there is also advantages in terms of technical teams. So like if I have to give you an example, so yeah, assume you are using an Avid platform, like Ed was showing during his presentation. If you are using an Avid platform or Avid production asset management system, Trance can seamlessly integrate and access or export assets from your ISO storage, transcode it on-prem, and ingest it into Trance. And once you're done with all the captioning work, you can export it. And like you were seeing in the presentation, when you click on Submit Project, this can go directly back into your Avid system and sit along with the container. So there are efficiencies in terms of users, in terms of project management, and in terms of technicalities.
Okay. Here's a very specific question about one of the functionalities. Is there a way to identify jobs in a list by names of the video instead of by a job number?
Yes. The list of jobs right now is displayed with job IDs. There is a factor that can be added based on the customer preferences, whether to show the actual file name in the job list. That is possible. So right now, when you're seeing this, you wouldn't have seen that because that's intentionally removed from the list.
Very good. Can Trance be used for processing captions for live broadcast and streaming?
So let me take that question in terms of our approach. So if the question is directly related to can Trance replace live captioners, right now, no. Trance cannot replace the live captioners. So Trance as a platform is envisioned to augment the entire process or increase the output by captioners. And the third generation of Trance is going to have a feature of streaming text, which is mainly aimed at helping live captioners. Where when I say that yes, this needs to be speech to text needs to come in with a latency of milliseconds, so that users can go in or live captioners can go in, correct the content, and then push the content to a broadcast or web stream. So the reason behind that is right now, be it speech to text or natural language understanding, a combination of both, has not reached a point where it can gracefully handle certain specific items, something like when there is overlapping speech, the system is going to take the ambient noise or ambient speech and process that information alone. And the second, whatever is secondary, the system is not going to process that, but a human will understand that, right? So these are things that we are putting greater effort into. Not just us, the industry as a whole is putting a lot of effort in terms of doing that, and so that we can provide the best output, especially for the hearing impaired community, and have a better experience for everybody.
Thank you for that, Russell. Looks like we're heading out of time. Let me move the webinar back to Suresh for closing comments.
Thanks, Russ. Thanks, Ed, for detailing around the Trance solution, and thanks, Russell, for taking up those questions. Thanks, everyone, for joining today's session. Would love to hear some feedback from you, and in case you had further questions, you may write down to marketing@digital-nirvana.com, the mail ID that you're seeing on the screen. And in the forthcoming communications, you'll get access to all the key materials around today's topic, which include ebook, which includes a white paper and an article authored by today's speakers. Finally, as Russ said, due to limited time on this session, if we have not covered any questions, we will personally get you the response via an email. Thanks again, and have a great day, all of you. Thanks a lot.